Holy shit, guys. That just might have been the best episode of the originals ever. Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the originals. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'm getting a call. Who's calling me? So, my review for the originals, Season 2, Episode 13, The Devil is Damned. And holy shit, guys, this just might be, as I said, this might just be the best episode of the entire show. This episode was fucking insane. So much happened in this episode. So much fighting happened in this episode. So much combat in this episode. And I loved it, guys. It was so awesome. Everything about this episode was just awesome. I absolutely loved it. And by far best episode of the season. Obviously best episode of the season. I'm saying it's the best episode of the entire show. Obviously it's the best episode of the season. But this episode did what the whole season's about. And that's about family and sacrifice and power. And that's what this whole episode was about. It was all about sacrificing and family and things like that. And just the power of family. And I loved about this episode. But let's just get to it because it was amazing. So we start off with Finn, and we begin to use voodoo to do what looks to be the locator spell that ends up torching the room after he fails, and he's then approached by Freya, who of course abandoned Rebekah, and we can see right away she actually wants nothing to do with her. And he looks as if he's seen a ghost. He did not expect to see her and everything, so he's pretty surprised to, see her. So, basically, the two embrace, and it looks like Freya may actually be on the bad side, which I found interesting because it seemed like she wanted to protect Rebekah, but I guess not. So, it's still kind of too early to judge, though, because at this point you're not really sure if she knows that Finn is a bad guy or not, so basically, Rebekah, Klaus, and Elijah talk about their sister being alive, but Klaus doesn't seem to believe that notion for one bit. They don't think that Freya's alive. He's thinking, no, there's no way that she's alive. And I mean, think about it. There's no way that she could be alive. I agree with Klaus. I mean, if I were Klaus, I wouldn't have thought that either. There's just no way. So Elijah calms Klaus down by assuring him that Jackson won't do anything to complicate the marriage with Haley. And that is when Rebekah realizes what has happened since she has gone. And she's freaking out about it because, I mean, she feels like she wanted to know things. And this whole episode seemed to be about reveals and, like, people revealing things. And sort of, like, who can you tell secrets to? Who can you trust? And I liked about the episode. But the other thing I like about this episode is just seeing Rebekah back with all of them was great to see. And kind of like catching up with all of them was awesome to see. This episode is kind of like a family reunion, which I loved as well. Because finally the whole split part is gone. They're all back together. And basically Rebekah, knows what's going on, and she's kind of upset about that, so that was kind of funny. So she's like, what else did I miss? And an awkward moment between Haley and Jackson turned onto a touching one, as he shows her a hand-built crib that has a moon carved inside of it. And basically he already made something for that. Kind of creepy, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure he assumed they were going to have a baby. But now that he knows that Haley, that Hope is alive, now that he knows that, he thinks that they should just use it now. And he also tells Haley that there are other alphas who want to be part of the wedding, which means a larger army to protect Hope, which is pretty awesome, honestly, because we need an army to protect Hope. We need a good army to protect Hope, because who else can protect Hope? Nobody. So they need that army. So Kol walks in and asks for help from Rebekah and Klaus and tells them both that he is dying. And you can see right away that Klaus wants absolutely nothing to do with him. Remember when I told you guys that Kol needs to pick a side? This episode, he finally picked a side, because this whole episode was kind of like about him trying to right the wrongs of what he did to, the Michelson family, to Rebekah especially. First they want nothing to do with him, but he tells them that he is dying, and they don't believe his words one bit. They think that he's working for Finn. They don't believe a word he's saying, and Klaus blasts him for what he did to Rebekah, and it's understandable why they're upset. I mean, he made Rebekah this way. He got Rebekah stuck in this body, but he tells them that he's not going to get out of this body, and that he is permanently stuck in the body of Caleb, and he's not going to be able to get out of it. And, Finn is down the sim, and he's dying, and Klaus, basically, Rebekah knows that Kol is telling the truth, and whatever Rebekah believes, Klaus does. So, when Rebekah believes something, Klaus is going to believe her too, because they have that bond. So Kol tells Klaus that Finn is trying to get a secret out of Marcel, and Klaus really looks worried now. He actually seems like that's, he's telling the truth and everything, and he's really worried about what could end up happening there. So that was definitely very big. So Freya's talking about how she's back because of a curse that Dahlia casted upon her. And that's right, Dahlia could possibly be lying, because she realizes that Dahlia's curse was actually a lie, and that she is still hunting. And, basically, Finn's like, wait, Dahlia's still alive? And basically we find out, yeah, Dahlia's still alive. But basically she says she's not alive, she's just always hunting. So that makes me think that Dahlia is in the same position as Finn, as Esther, as Michael, as, not Michael, but Finn, Esther, Kol, you know, all of them, Rebekah. I feel like Dahlia is stuck in somebody else's body. That's what I personally feel. I feel like Dahlia is trapped in someone else's body, and we have no idea who she is. I'm thinking of possibilities, but I really can't. But I definitely feel like if Esther can do it, then Dahlia can do it. It's that simple. Dahlia is so much more powerful than her, first of all, and she seems a lot more powerful. So, basically, here's my thing. If Esther can, you know, merge into any body, then I think that Dahlia can as well. So, Finn breaks the news that Klaus has a daughter, which means that Dahlia will be hunting everyone to get to Hope, and Freya gives Finn a list of items, and, yeah, so that was just such an awesome scene, but such a bad scene as well, because you know something bad is going to happen to Hope, and you don't want something bad to happen to her, but wow, already off to a great start. Marcel's entire vampire army is under a spell by Finn, and they look completely out of it, because Finn has put them under this spell, and Marcel's trying to reach Gia, but she's still under the spell, so it's kind of cool to see Marcel without an army in this episode. He's all by himself, because of course, you know, Finn has done this to him. And it was cool to see how much power Finn has. I have to say, even though Finn's a villain, he is a badass villain. I love that about his character. He really is killing it as a villain. Really, he is killing it, and just, he's awesome. He's one of the best, he's the best addition to the show, I have to say. I thought Esther and, you know, Kol were the best addition to the show. No, by far, Finn is the best addition to the show. I love seeing Finn on the show. So, just then, Finn comes in to tell him that he has a job for him. When Marcel refuses, Finn begins staking vampires just one by one. Such a hard scene to watch. Just like he's staking vampire to vampire, and it's just like, Marcel is losing so much of his army right now, and you feel so bad for the guy. Because, I mean, this is his army, the army that he built up, the army that he struggled to put together, the army that he just recently put together. He recently put them together, he recently became their leader, and they recently listened to him. So he really feels like all of that was worthless, because they just had this whole army, and now it's like getting destroyed. And again, I felt so bad for Marcel in this episode. So basically, Marcel agrees to help Finn, who needs Haley's blood, and basically, that's pretty crazy. Marcel has no choice but to help him, and you really do feel bad for Marcel, because you know he wants to side with Klaus, but if he doesn't, then all of his army is going to get killed. I honestly thought that all of Marcel's army was going to get killed in that scene. I thought just one by one, just stake, but no, G is still alive, all of them are still alive. The only ones that aren't alive are, like, the ones we don't really care about. I mean, you care about them, and you don't know their names, so obviously that's why you don't care about them. So, then we get to something definitely very weird. This was a very weird scene. We see Cami again. It was great to see Cami and Elijah again. Again, I really like their friendship in this episode. I really do like their friendship, and I just don't know. I just feel like they're trying to get them to romantically together. But after this episode, no, they're not doing that. Basically, Cami and Elijah are talking. Hope is playing with a tablecloth, and basically the table ends up falling on her, and she has a scratch on her head, and basically her drawing blood, and also drawing a strange reaction from Elijah. He's still suffering from what Cami thinks is PTSD. That's what she thinks he's suffering from. And I don't know if that's true. I feel like Finn is doing this to him, because I don't know if Elijah would just randomly suffer from PTSD. I don't know if that's a possibility, but Cami seems to think that he is suffering from PTSD, but I really don't know. I don't know if I can say that he is 100% suffering from PTSD. I don't know about that. But we'll have to see what happens there. I mean, he could be suffering from PTSD, but we'll have to see. Definitely, we'll have to see what happens there. So, by the way, guys, if you see me coughing and things like that, it's just because I got a cold. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. Whatever. So basically, that was really weird. So Kol asks Klaus what the secret is, but he refuses to tell him what the secret is, because he still does not know if he should 100% trust Kol, which is understandable, because, I mean, what Kol did. Kol, first of all, he had Kol on his army, and then Kol betrayed him, so Klaus really does not know if he can trust Kol right now. And I would probably do the same thing. If I was in Klaus's position, and I wasn't sure if I could trust, you know, and my brother had betrayed me, I probably would not trust them, because why would I trust someone who betrayed me already? He already betrayed him. He already went against them. So why should Klaus betray it? So why should Klaus, trust him? Exactly, he shouldn't. He should not trust him. So I understand why. It's understandable. So basically, Rebekah decides to volunteer, but she isn't strong enough, and, because Kol needs help. But when Klaus asks him to get Davina, Kol refuses because he does not want Davina to know that he is sick. And it really shows that, yeah, he does care about Davina. Honestly, what this arc is doing, is showing that Kol's actually a good person. He's not a bad person. He's not a villain. He truly does care about Davina, and I like that they're finally doing this, because all season long we've been questioning, does he love Davina? Is he just working for Finn? Does he really care about the Michaelsons? Yeah, he does. He does. He didn't at first, but now he does. He wants to work with the Michaelsons. He does care about Davina. Now, it could be because of how weak he is that he's just doing this so he can get better. But I honestly feel like he's telling the truth here. I really do. Just because the way he was talking to them, the way how sincere he sounded, it seemed like to me that, yeah, we can trust him. But you never know. On the show, again, this is always one of those shows where you never really know who to trust. But at this point, I feel like we definitely can trust the guy. He definitely seems very trustworthy at this point. So, Klaus reaches into Kol's mind to find out what he really wants, and because, of course, he wants to see what's going on, and he sees that he actually wants to kill him. He wants to kill Klaus, and that was pretty insane. So, Cami realizes that Elijah was able to hold himself back when Hope was injured, and she hands him a list of items that need fixed around the house to take his mind off of his distractions, off his PTSD, which I think is a good idea, because if he uses those, household items, she's trying to find something basically as a distraction so he will not have these weird things in his mind, because clearly he's thinking about a lot. Definitely he's thinking about a lot, and he needs to not think as much. So in order for that to happen, he needs to, go look at these household items. So Haley notices that Jackson is pretty good with kids, and I like seeing that scene. I definitely enjoyed seeing that. I like seeing Jackson. I gotta say, I do. Before, a couple episodes ago, I wouldn't have said I like Haley and Jackson together, but honestly, I do. Elijah is not in the position to be with Haley right now. I gotta say that. Elijah and Haley cannot have him because Elijah is not in a good position right now. He's suffering from PTSD. His mind is fucking with him. He has a lot of problems going on. Really, he does. So he could be controlled by Finn, so he really has a lot of problems going on. So I like seeing Haley and Jackson together. And honestly, when they're getting married next week apparently. So next week is their wedding apparently, like the next episode. So I think that that's actually a good thing, because I want to see the two together. So Haley notices that Jackson, is pretty good with kids, and also tells him that there is a meeting at Mary's. And I thought that was a good scene. As I said, I like seeing them together. So, Haley catches Marcel before he can approach her, and the second that she saw him, I knew that Marcel was going to tell her, because he had to tell someone. He can't just do all these things for Finn when he does not feel right. Because Marcel. Marcel does not do something that does not feel right. He does what he thinks is right, and what's right is to not follow him. What's right is to be your own person and not go against Klaus and Elijah and all of them. Everyone that has been faithful and loyal to you. You cannot go against them. So, basically, he tells her why he is with her. She now knows that Finn knows Hope is alive, and she is freaking out about it. She has no idea what happened. If she wants to know who ratted on her, but she realizes that he was forced to tell. That he says that Finn was basically put two and two together, which he did. No one actively told him. Marcel didn't even tell him. Marcel literally said, "I can't tell you anything," but Finn just realized in his head what was going on because of how smart he is, and that's why Finn is such a good villain, because he's extremely, extremely intelligent. Honestly, probably most intelligent out of all of them. They are extremely intelligent, each and every one of them, but Finn is 2 steps ahead of them, and that's what I like about Finn's character. He is always 2 steps ahead, and that's what makes a great villain. When your villain is 2 steps ahead of the heroes, that is when you have a good villain. That right there, awesome villain. So basically, he only wants the blood to locate Hope, and now Haley is very worried about what could end up happening here. So she is not happy. She's about to call Klaus, but Klaus is blasting Kol once again because of his ultimate plot to kill him, and Kol gets so upset he leaves his brother and sister in a hole, and he's completely distraught because he's all alone. You actually felt really bad for him. I gotta say, Daniel Sharman in this episode Oh my god, guys. This is by far Daniel Sharman's best performance. Like, he was great. He was great in Teen Wolf for what he did as Isaac. He was great in that. But he is so much better in the originals. Like, this is by far the best performance I've ever seen from Daniel Sharman. He was amazing in this episode. Just this scene was amazing. Because he's all alone, and blood begins dripping from his nose. At that point, I honestly thought they were going to kill Kol. I really did. The way they were setting things up in this episode, I thought Kol was going to die. But you don't know. You don't know if Cole's gonna die, but I thought that personally Kol was gonna die. I'm not, you just don't know with the show anymore. So, especially with the kill of Tyrese last night in The Walking Dead, I thought someone else was gonna get on the originals. Somebody does get on this episode, but I'm not gonna explain who because I'll talk about it at the end. So just then, Finn calls him with a proposition to free Kol if he gets him Klaus's blood, and he agrees due to what transpired earlier. And that's a good deal. I think it's a good deal overall. Free Kol. He's gonna help Kol. Basically, he's gonna get Kol out of this if he gets him Klaus's blood. And basically, Elijah begins working on his chores and can't hear the phone ring as Klaus is trying to reach him. And Kol returns to wreak havoc on Klaus, get the blood that Finn requested. Kol blasts Klaus about suffering and being the one. This is just, there's a whole brawl going on between them. It's awesome. And Kol is blasting Klaus about suffering and being the one that is singled out. And Klaus is refusing to kill Kol. And I just loved this scene. Just, oh my god, this scene was amazing. Joseph Morgan, I think his name is Joseph Morgan. Joseph Morgan and Daniel Sharman in this scene was just amazing. His speech here was great. He gives him the speech about being his family and how he has only daggered his whole family to protect them. So he doesn't want to kill Kol because he is a Michelson. He is his brother and he cares about him and doesn't want anything bad to happen to him. And he basically thinks that all this is happening because he's suffering. He doesn't want him to suffer anymore. So he tells him it's not too late to redeem himself, and Kol tells him that Finn wants his blood. And I like that Cole's honest with him, because at that point, you're like, what is Kol going to do? Is he going to, do something secretly behind Klaus's back? The second that he said he wanted to kill Klaus, I'm like, I don't know if we should trust the guy. But I was just thinking, is he going to be honest with Klaus? Is he going to lie to him? And what is he going to do here? But here it seems like, he tells him the honest truth, that Finn wants his blood, and Kol knows there is no reversing what Finn has done to him, and it's back on the right side of the fight. He knows that. So he has no choice but to work with Klaus. And I think in his mind, yeah, he does want to work with Klaus. I do think that. I think at this point that Klaus is the best way to go. Really, he is. Even though Klaus is Klaus is doing what's in his best interest. He needs to realize that. Even though he doesn't really trust Klaus, I don't care if he doesn't trust Klaus, he is doing what is in Kol's best interest, and Kol needs to realize that. So basically, Kol tells him that Finn wants his blood, and he knows there is no reversing. So when Kol learns of this, he asks for, when Klaus learns this, he asks for Kol's help in exchange for the secret, and Kol grants it. So they have a nice team-up going on. I like the team-up of Kol working with Rebekah and Klaus and Elijah. It's very well done. Now all they need is Davina on their side, because Davina we did not see in this episode, but definitely we're going to see her. Definitely, we have to. So Haley knows there is too many ears around the meeting and asks Jackson for some of his blood to throw off Finn, because she doesn't want everybody to find out. So the Alphas re-announce their status, and Jackson grants Haley his blood, and Klaus arrives at the meeting place where Finn said he would meet Kol, and when Klaus, Kol, and Rebekah arrive, they notice that the room has been protected and find a symbol that means baby. So that's really, really creepy what's going on there. Kol then realizes that this is such a well-done scene, because Kol then realizes that Hope is alive, and he's so happy and joyous about it, but at the same time, he's very upset because Finn tricked them, and that is the moment where yes, Kol is working with them. And the second he saw that, I'm like, yes, he knows that he is working with them because he knows that Finn betrayed him, and that was so awesome to see, because Finn has been working on their mother's side, and Cole's been working on the wrong side. Now he's no longer working on the wrong side, and that's so awesome to see, and I love that. So basically, he now knows that Finn tricked him into thinking he had no idea where the baby was when he knew all along, and that was just, oh my god, such an awesome scene. Klaus reaches Elijah, who is approached and attacked by Finn, and the second he was attacked by Finn, I'm like, this is not going to end well. This is insane. This literally felt like a season finale, guys. Literally, this scene right here felt like a season finale. It was that crazy. Cami's trying to reach Elijah. She has baby Hope with her, and she notices the little Hope has been healed by her uncle. So that was great to see. I mean, she's been healed and everything, so Klaus is frantic and asks Kol, and Kol reveals that there's a way to help, but it will take lots of power, and Finn and Elijah are now face to face, and Elijah learns that Freya is alive, and that was an amazing scene. Haley tells Marcel that she has to go protest her baby girl. Marcel urges her to build up an army to help keep her baby safe instead. Marcel's vampires wake up in a vein in the middle of the woods, and they immediately smell blood, and they try to track it. They have no idea what's going on here. Because, think about it, they've been in this trance, and they're just like, I smell blood, what's going on? So, when they said that, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen to them. I honestly thought someone was going to die there. So Elijah and Finn continue their harsh words towards each other, and Finn attacks Elijah, sending a dagger right into his heart, and I honestly thought that either Finn or Elijah are going to die, but I'm thinking to myself, they're both main characters. Finn's just become a main character. Elijah's been a main character since Season 1. So there's no way that either of them are going to die. So I was just saying to myself, they're not going to die. There's no way they're going to die. So then we get to the end of the episode, and Kol tells Rebekah that they will have to overload Finn if they have any hope of saving baby Hope, and Rebekah offers some kind words to her brother. This is what I love about Rebekah. Honestly, out of all of them, yes, Klaus is a good guy, but Rebekah really is the nicest one. She always is very emotional. She's always very sympathetic. Granted, she is a badass at the same time, and she will do some badass things, but it's all to protect her family, and I love that about Klaus and Rebekah. That's one of the things I've loved about this season in general, is that it's just gotten you to care for them more. It's taken them from these small monsters and put them into big, big positions and made them heroes, and I love that the show has done that. I've always loved that about the originals, but especially this season, they have done that so well, and I love that. So Rebekah tells Kol that, he apologizes to her and tells her that he will get her back to her body, and basically she tells him that she is going to help him in any way that she can. She will do whatever she can to help him, and I love that. So Klaus brings the items Kol requested, including the stakes that was originally meant to kill Klaus, and Klaus trusts his brother to help, and Kol begins to create the spell to overload Finn with power, causing him to jump to another body far away from Hope. And during the ceremony for Haley and Jackson, before it can be completed, Marcel's vampires attack the alphas, and I did not know what was going to happen there, but now it's like vampires versus werewolves. It's not ending well, and Haley and Marcel step in to help, and Marcel brings him to safety. And, I mean, they have been under Finn's control, so Finn told them to do this. That's why this has happened, because they were told by Finn, go after the alpha. So if you remember, one of Finn's main goals right now is to get the vampires and werewolves and pit them against each other, make sure they are not allies, because he does not want that. That is not Finn's agenda. And I love about Finn, that he has an agenda, and when he has an agenda, what Finn wants is going to get done. But, then there's Klaus, who is also like that. But Finn, it seems like that's how Finn is, and I love that about Finn. So Finn is exploring the house for Hope, and somehow Elijah wakes up from being daggered. How? I don't know, because when you kill a vampire with a stake, they're dead. But of course, Elijah's a hybrid. And plus, something weird's going on with him. He begins ripping the pieces out of him. This was just such an awesome scene. And I don't think we've ever seen Elijah this awesome. I think the last time we saw Elijah this awesome was in Season 1, was in the second to last episode of Season 1, when he was just taking out werewolf after werewolf. It was just, that was awesome. When he was doing that, when he was taking out Marcel's army, vampire, that's just the army of Elijah, Marcel, that was the last time I think we really saw Elijah be a total badass, and this was awesome to see. Finn and Rebekah try to do the spell, but they aren't strong enough, so Klaus volunteers and pleads with his brother not to fail him. Kol marks Klaus, and he and Rebekah continue their spell, channeling Klaus. And back at the house, Finn looks for Cami, and just then he's attacked by Elijah, and Finn tries to use the magic to attack Elijah, but Elijah's blood triggers a memory of the red door, and that's obviously not good. That's what's going through his head, is the red door. And it's really the suffering that Esther has done him. I don't think it's so much PTSD. I think it's what Esther said to him has just has taken a toll on him. And I don't know how he's going to be able to get out of this. And I want to know how, but I don't know how he's going to get out of this. And it's going to be interesting to see if he does get out of this. So Finn's feeling the effects of a spell from Kol and Rebekah, and it takes a lot out of them both. Before Haley gets attacked by Gia, their spell is broken, and Kol has saved everyone, and Kol is surprised that the spell worked, and it appears to have taken a lot out of him. He's surprised that it worked, and when that happened, I honestly thought Kol was just going to die right there. It definitely seemed like there's an episode where someone's going to die, so I thought Kol was going to die in this episode. But Rebekah vows to help him no matter what, and I love seeing that. I love this team between Rebekah and Kol, but can Rebekah help him? I don't know how you're going to be able to help him from this, because I don't see how you can help Kol. I mean, Finn betrayed him, so I don't know. There's no way she can get Finn to help him. There's no way she can get Finn to reverse the spell. Finn is going to do what Finn wants. Finn does not want to help Kol. He betrayed him. He made that clear when he betrayed him. So Rebekah has to find a way to help him, and I don't know how she's going to do that, so we'll have to see what happens there. So Jackson approaches Haley, and they look at the aftermath of the attack. She tells him that they need to get married as soon as possible, and Klaus wakes up, and so basically they need to get married now, and that's insane, because if they get married now, of course, she can protect Hope and get full custody of Hope, and Finn will come after Hope, and that's definitely a good thing. But my question is Finn going to be, like, 2 steps ahead of him? Because I feel like Finn's going to end up attending the wedding. I definitely feel like that's going to happen. So Klaus wakes up and Kol gives him the good news, and Klaus reminds that family is power and thanks his brother and sister. They now turn to worry about Elijah, whom Klaus has no doubt that he will prevail. You know, he thinks that Elijah's going to be okay. Finn is struggling while Elijah marvels at the blood all over his body and on his hands. Cami and baby Hope make their way back home. It is not clear whether or not home is safe for them, because they don't even know what safe is anymore. And I like seeing that with Cami. As I said, Cami's not safe. She thinks she's safe, but there really is no safe anymore, and I like that Cami's realizing this. I mean, Cami's been that character that is basically us. She now knows that there is no such thing as safe, because there is no safe. There really isn't. You know, when you have people against you and everything, there really is no safe, and Cami, I think, has realized that now. So Finn tries to get his brother's head to make him feel like a monster. Finn says that Hope never had a chance because of Elijah's bloodthirst. And somehow Cami's engine stops on the way home. And Finn continues to pry into Elijah's head. And Elijah sacrifices himself by exploring the house with him and Finn inside. And what the fuck? Elijah is dead. Elijah's gone. Like, Elijah's gone. There's no way that they just killed Elijah. I'm saying that right now. There's no way they killed Elijah, but he's not in the promo. However, he is in the description for next week. So there's no way they killed Elijah, but I don't know. Do you guys think they killed Elijah? There's no way. I'm sorry. There's no way they killed Elijah. Elijah is the third main character of this show. Third main character. Maybe even the second. I don't know. I know it's Klaus, Elijah, and Rebekah. They're the 3 main characters. I know that. But I know they're the 3 main originals, so there is no way that Elijah is dead. There is absolutely no way, but you never know in this show. You really don't. So, you never do know, but if Elijah is dead, that would be like an amazing twist, but I know there's no way that Elijah's dead, but holy shit, guys, so much shit went down this episode, and I loved every single minute of it. Everything that happened in this episode was absolutely amazing, and there's so much to talk about. First of all, as I said, next week is Haley and Jackson's wedding, and I definitely feel like they are in for a terrible wedding. I feel like Finn's going to attack their wedding, and it's going to be a full-on brawl. It's going to be awesome, though, definitely. If Finn goes near their wedding, it's going to be awesome to see. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Klaus and Rebekah, I need to see how Rebekah is going to help Kol, because I don't see how there is a way to help Kol. I know she wants to, but I don't know if there really is a way to help him. We'll have to see what happens there, but I just don't really know if there's a way to help Kol. As far as Jackson and Haley, is their wedding going to go well? I mean, I like seeing them in this episode so close. I do like that. What is Elijah exactly going through? If Elijah is still alive, I definitely feel like he's going to realize what he's going through. Because Elijah, I don't think it's just PTSD. There's definitely something more to it. I don't know if Finn's controlling him, what's going to happen there. Is Finn's plan going to work? Is Finn going to show up at Haley and Jackson's wedding? Is Finn going to end up pitting the vampires and werewolves against each other? Or has Marcel stopped that? I don't even know if he has. We'll have to see what happens there. What other questions do I have? I'm trying to think. Why did Cami's break suddenly stop? That was weird to see. Is Cami slowly realizing that she's not safe anymore? I think she definitely is realizing that. I mean, she's realizing definitely that they're not going to work anymore. Is there a way that Rebekah will stay and, you know, get out of this body? A lot of people are speculating that Rebekah's not going to get out of this body. And I personally feel like she's not either, because, I mean, they're prolonging Rebekah in this body. If she would have gotten out of this body, she would have gotten it out by now. She would have. I mean, they're prolonging this, definitely. They prolonged Kol, they prolonged Finn, they're gonna prolong Rebekah. I know that. That's how the originals works. When you merge someone into a body, the show's gonna prolong it. So there's no way that Cole's gonna get her out of this, because Finn's not gonna listen to him, because Finn has betrayed him and everything. He wants nothing to do with him. Are they going to be able to protect Hope? I know in the next episode there's going to be some sort of, like, shocking revelation about Hope. I don't know what that's all about, but apparently there's some sort of, like, revelation about Hope. I have no idea what it's about, but apparently something happens to Hope. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But that's basically my review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. This episode was just, oh my god, such a well-done episode. So crazy. I loved it. This is the originals. I love all about sacrifice and power, and this is what the originals needs to be. Absolutely loved it. Also, is Davina going to find out that Kol is dying? She needs to realize, because Davina is on Kol's side, and also Kol needs to convince Davina that they cannot work on the bad side anymore. They need to work with the originals. I know that Davina is going to be hesitant about it. I know she's going to be like, I don't know. I don't want to be against Klaus, because, I mean, she hates Klaus. She does not like Klaus. But she needs to realize that there comes a time when even the people you hate, you have to work against them. That's how a family works. Because, I mean, Davina's as much a part of the family as Kol is. Even though she's not an active member, she is a part of the family, and she needs to understand that, yeah, you need to work with people that you even don't like. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Overall, guys, by far best episode of the season. Absolutely loved it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Once again, another fantastic episode. The originals is just doing fantastic episode after fantastic episode. And as I said, every single episode gets better every single week. My next review will be for tonight's episode of Better Call Saul, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.